Hello and welcome to the Official Watches YouTube channel. They say you should never meet your heroes. Well, I say f*** them because I'm sitting here today with Tom TGE. Tom,
what
welcome.
Intro. Thank you very much. Hello, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
All good, even better for being here. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. We've got a celebrity in the building, guys. It is Tom.
Stop.
Yeah, he's
I've been getting abused in the comments already.
Yeah, the comments
I'm
are
not
gonna,
a celebrity.
The comments
Thank
are
you,
going to
mate.
pop off. But yeah, no, welcome,
you.
man. It's an honour to have you, really.
Appreciate it.
So today we're going to go through some questions with Tom. We've got some amazing watches to show him. True Jardin du Mayfair style. We're going to wow him. Well, we're going to see if we can wow him. He's probably seen some amazing pieces. And then we're going to move on to a little bit of this or that. So, Tom, let's get started.
Yeah.
First up, can you give us a quick overview of what you do and, more to the point, how you turned your passion into a career?
I'll try and keep it brief.
Of course.
Many moons ago, I started a fitness company with my twin brother. And around the same time, I started a job in finance. Similar background-ish to yourself, I suspect.
We do have the same
tried the
thing
office
there.
job thing.
We did.
Both realised we hated it. And I still do dip in and out of that. But I actually, with the fitness company, built up an audience of young blokes. And I realised they like cars and they like watches. I like cars, I like watches, I like fitness. So I started documenting. When things started going well, I started buying cars and I started buying watches. I started documenting them and building up an audience of young blokes that like all the same things as me. So now I've got a reasonable following, not the biggest following out there, but of guys that like my stuff. So I'm a YouTuber, Instagrammer, TikTok, even though I don't fully understand it. I'm too old for TikTok. My back hurts. I don't belong on
I have
there.
the same problem. Yeah.
I'm not creative at all. So yeah, effectively, I do social media. I work with watch brands. I work with car brands. I collect cars and I collect watches. That's my passion. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And I document everything outside of that.
I don't know if you like this, but I'd like to describe you as a walking, talking GQ magazine, but a bit cooler.
I like that. Of all the things I've been called online, I'll have that. I'm updating my CV with many, many quotes from this video, so I appreciate that.
So yeah, Tom's into everything men's and everything cool, and if you give him a follow, we'll put all of his socials in the description. You will not regret it. It's amazing content.
I once got called a digital Del Boy.
Oh, very good.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I like to build my own businesses off my following. So I have kind of all these offshoot brands involving cars, involving watches.
Yeah.
So I'm busy bee.
Oh, I like the digital Del Boy, as you know.
We'll stick with the GQ thing. That's much cooler. Ignore the Del Boy thing.
Only Fools and Horses is very dear to me, as you know. So having a good old-fashioned stalk of your Instagram, it's very clear that you have a heavy-hitting collection, but you also have some very under-the-radar pieces, such as Patek and Baluard. As well as some of the better-known brands, you've got Richard Mille, Tudor, Cartier, AP, etc. Do you prefer mainstream these days, or are you more into the sort of left field choices now?
I think things have shifted. You know, back when I started my watch sort of collecting career, it's not really a career, is it? It's just a thing. I was definitely into the Rolex stuff. I mean, I remember many moons ago, we crossed paths. I bought an AP Safari back in must have been 2012, 2013.
Yeah, I love that
Or maybe
watch.
before that. I don't know. Anyway, but I started off with the mainstream brands. And as things got all very hyped and kind of the world and its dog got sucked into the market, I kind of not got pushed, but I started looking further afield. And I thought, right, and I've done all that hype stuff. What's going on with the indies? You know, what's going on with the truly rare stuff? So my taste has shifted over time. I'm looking back at neo-vintage, collectible, quirky stuff from the main brands, and then also further afield into the indies like Baluard, Patek, Jean. Jean's almost mainstream now.
Yeah.
Romain Gaultier, like loads of different like little brands all over the place. So I'm kind of spreading out now. My taste has definitely shifted over the past few years.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you there. So my eyes were recently opened at the Watch Pro event. So there was so much good brands there, and I couldn't believe some of the prices of the watches. Like these isotope watches, they're like COSC rated. They're 300-meter water depth. They're £1,800.
Yeah, it's wild.
The quality is just insane.
Yeah,
my eyes were completely opened there. Yeah.
It's crazy what value for money you can get. And a lot of these brands as well, whilst the kind of all the hype stuff and everyone's swelling into the steel Rolex stuff, the sports stuff, was annoying for those trying to get hold of those watches. What it actually did was made the indie market way more buoyant. It supported a lot of indie brands, meaning that they could reinvest and actually grow. And also, if you bought an indie piece, it used to be, and in some cases it still is, but it used to be absolutely fatal, right? If you went and bought, you know, a Journe 8 years ago, and you spent 250k on one, it'd be worth 70.
Yeah.
That's a really bad example, but you get what I mean.
No, I see.
That kind of hype period and everyone being sucked into watches has now allowed indies to be so buoyant. You can actually get into them and not lose your house.
Yes.
You can actually enjoy them. And that's, I stayed away from them for a while because of that kind of almost financial death that was associated with them. But now it's enabled me to get in and actually enjoy these things without kind of worried that I'm going to lose my house. So,
and there you go. And also as well, another interesting thing about these brands that I learned at Watch Pro is like their entry level, like I say, like how people, like an entry drug, right? So they start on these things and then 10 years later, they're coming down to us to buy some crazy APs and stuff. And it's like, it's so nice that people, younger people, can come into it and get started with the watches at good quality. So next question, which is, what was the watch that kicked off your collector bug, and do you still have it?
I'm going to expose myself for being a proper nerd. Anyone that thought I was cool was about to drop out. When I was a kid, I used to draw pictures of watches. I used to like design, like it was more kind of aligned with the sort of Ben 10 type stuff, right? Like nerdy, like Casio calculator watches, the TV remote one. Everyone remembers it. Everyone changing the TV on the remote. Absolute chaos. Calculator and maths, great. So actually, it was way back then when and swatches as well. So I was actually obsessed back then, even with the digital stuff, but still. And I remember my dad actually. He had a copy Rolex, but I was obsessed with it. He had a copy tag as well, because we didn't have money for like the proper ones. I shouldn't say that at all. But he's dead, so you can't get it. So yeah, I mean, I was obsessed with watches back then. He loved watches, and it kind of just grew from there. But my first proper piece, I guess, was, I think it was a green glass Milgauss was my first Rolex, and it was stickered, and I bought it, and I babied this thing because I really couldn't afford it, spending beyond my means even back then. And I didn't wear it, and I ended up swapping it for a maxi dial Kermit anniversary Submariner, one of the last ones. I think it's a V or a Z series. All the updates on it, but in the old setting. And I've still got that watch, and I will never sell that watch. I don't wear it. I treat that watch better, and I baby that watch more than anything. I don't wear it because I just couldn't bear anything to happen to it. No better than the Kermit. I absolutely love that. I think they're not cheap, but I think they're still pretty underrated. They are underrated. Maxi dial, and it's not just a green bezel. It's a proper anniversary piece, and I think they're underrated. That's a killer watch, and something you just said resonated with me, which is about your dad's watch. So basically, my dad, growing up, he had a Frank Muller, and it was a chronograph, and I used to just sit there. I'm not joking. I would take it out of his drawer, and I'd just take it to my room, and I'd just like play with the chronographs, wind the watch. Oh, he hated it. He absolutely hated it. I used to wind the watch, like play with it, and I was always listening to the little ticks and the clicks, and I just got obsessed. So it's funny how like these things happen when you're young, and then you get into them. Lovely. Thank you so much. That's right. So imagine a terrible world where you could only wear one watch for the rest of your life. What is it? You may have answered it. I would probably just wear that 50th sub. Okay, yeah. Because it's, you know, beach, fine, gym, fine, black tie dinner, fine. You know, you're not saying too much, you're not saying too little. It's a if you know type piece, but it's also enough that your man on the street's going to appreciate that it's, you know, a sub. Yeah. Would I wear it in London with short sleeves? No. Not now. I mean, one watch the rest of my life if I moved away from London or to the UAE, the sub. One watch the rest of my life would probably be a Whoop or something if it was in London. Yeah. That's a cool watch though, and a great shout. I'm with you all the way there. I've always loved the green over the black as well. I like a bit of colour in my watches. Right, we're going to do a bit of a car one now. Okay. So, fantasy scenario, you've just bought your Grail car. What is it, and which watch would you pair it with for the very first drive? I think this is going to sound obnoxious, but I'm just so happy with it. I've done it. I've bought a Grail car. It's Porsche Carrera GT. Oof. Yeah, I bought that at the beginning of COVID when everyone was flapping. Okay. And I think my first drive video with the car on my channel, I was wearing a Journe Elegant 48. Okay, lovely. I've seen that car. Not the most typical pairing. But yeah, it was actually quite good because in the car, the camera angle, because the gear stick's up here, the watch was like right, and I wear on the wrong wrist. It was right up in the camera. I wear on the wrong wrist. Yeah, I get told off the whole time. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's already been done, and it was that combo. My time again, probably something vintage and collectible to go along with that. But.
I love on the Elegante when you pick it up and it sort of like works itself out. It's my favourite thing about it.
So clever.
I always like finding them where they're not set, because when you pick it up, you're like, oh yes.
I like it when it's like all the way around on the other side, so it's got so much work to do.
Yeah. I just had a client order a black dial. They're actually harder to find, but they're pretty cool too.
The new black dial, because it's the dial's actually loomed, but it's black.
Yeah,
and it's not that strong, but it's
calling it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool watch. And the loom on your one though is the best in the business.
Yeah, it's wild. I love that watch. It wears so comfortably. Yeah. That actually is quite a good contender for.
Are we allowed to ask which colour your Carrera GT is?
Yeah, of course. It's black one.
Oh, nice.
Black with,
I think
black
I've seen a picture of you in it. Yeah.
They're off the road at the moment. They're uninsured. There's a recall going on.
Right.
It's a lot boring story.
Lovely. Thank you. Okay, so collecting question for you now. Are you a sort of one in, one out? Do you swap watches often, or are you the kind of person when you buy one, that's it, it's in the collection and you just keep going?
To my detriment, I am just a hoarder. So I tend to hold on to stuff. I don't do one in, one out. I'm going to have to.
Yeah,
pretty soon. It's getting to the point. I've got some heavy stuff coming that it's not going to be able to be feasible to keep chucking them on top of the pile. So I'm going to have a thin out. I want my motto for 2024 is hitters, not. I said I wouldn't sell. I said I wouldn't swear. So I'm going to do more hitters and no more. Not.
Don't worry, we'll bleep you out.
Yeah. So, because I just got wrapped up in just buying 1,000,001 Tudors, 1,000,001 Steels, blah, blah, blah. And then you just end up with this whole pile of stuff that when the time does come to wear something fancy pants to like an event or on holiday or something, you're going to go for the punchy stuff. You're not going to go for the sort of the more run-of-the-mill stuff. There's just no point having it because it just doesn't have, I don't get any use out of it. So, I've completely run off of that. Sorry. I'm waffling.
It's fine. Waffling is great. We love it. We love it here. What is your biggest turn-off in a watch? So most collectors might have a pet peeve, just something that they can't get along with, whether it's subdials cutting into indices, Roman numerals, open heart watches. What is it that kills a design for you?
Oh, that's do you know what? I'm not a massive fan of chronographs on the whole.
Interesting.
I think there are a lot of chronographs out there that are just chronographs for chronographs' sakes. So chronos, I've got to really be into that. I don't think I own more than 2 or 3.
So I have to say, I agree with you there. I was always obsessed with getting a Daytona. And then when I finally did get one, I didn't actually get on with it as well as I thought. The reason being is that I had a GMT Master before it. Okay, and I actually used that like for travel and things, and it's like the coolest complication. I really got along with the sort of like pilot's aspect of, I had a 16710, and I love that Pepsi. I just think it's so cool. But the thing is like, actually, a Daytona, because you have to unscrew the crowns, you see. Now, on the new AP, like the 50th, with the flyback, you can just punch it whenever you like. But the thing is, chronograph, realistically, are you going to be like timing things throughout the day on your chronograph? Probably not that much.
I don't think I've ever used one. I think, no. I mean, there are some amazing chronograph designs out there, the iconic stuff. So your Speedies, your Daytonas. I've got Zenith Revival. That kind of stuff, like the OGs type chronos, but there's so many brands just punting them out for just no reason, just massive chronographs. Even the AP 41mm chronos, I can't get on with them.
You of all people, though, technically you could do a lap. You could time your laps when you're on a track.
I could, but you're going to use a V-Box or a digital watch. Or,
fair play.
You don't want to time my laps anyway. Appalling driver. Terrible. All the gear, no idea.
Lovely. So, as you clearly travel a lot, which 3 watches would you put in a watch roll to cover a month overseas?
That is a really good question, and the annoying answer is I guess it depends where I was. Somewhere safe. Should we just assume that it's just somewhere safe?
I recently saw a post of your 3 watches that you took to Saudi.
Yes.
And that was the sort of idea behind this question.
So that combo that I took to Saudi recently, obviously a very, very safe place, and I was in the UAE straight from there for the F1, so I needed to go punchy, and obviously incredibly safe as well. I was in Abu Dhabi. I took a Chapek Rattrapant. Antarctique. It's terrible French. Sorry about that, everyone.
No, don't worry. We do a lot of that here.
I've seen your intros. I've seen them. My RM16, which is a bit of a Marmite RM.
I like that.
It's not for everyone. But it's aggressive. It's a rose gold. It's aggressive. And I also took my Jaune Elegant 48 as well. So I thought between the three of them, you know, the Chapek is waterproof.
Yes.
The RM is just aggressive. It's on a green Velcro, and then the Jaune is just super comfy and under the radar. That's you can travel in that. That's an airport watch.
Yeah.
It's not an airport watch, but you know what I mean.
So my one killer of the RMs is that, you know, the very few of them are waterproof or good enough for swimming. Now I see a lot of the F1 drivers seem to jump in the swimming pool with them, but I guess they could just have another one if they want.
What happens? You get it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Richard, I've broken another.
Another one's gone, and he's like, "Yeah, don't tell anyone. Just we'll send you another one." Yeah. Okay, I also have a gift for you, actually, which is for your next travels. No, don't be silly. So this is a official watcher's watch roll. It's made of leather. It's very posh.
That's cash.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Like that. Thank you very much.
We
Cheers.
don't sell.
Appreciate
It's
it.
a pleasure.
We
don't sell these. We serve them for VIPs and our comment of the month winners. So comment of the month winners, you'll get one of these as well. And I've got you an official watches cleaning cloth for your travelling needs.
Key goods.
Yeah, there
key
you go,
goods.
my friend.
You saw my reel with that roll, and you thought, let's get this man a roll. That orange thing ain't kind of.
And the man needs a cleaning cloth as well for all the party nights.
Yeah, and all those fingerprints. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's a pleasure, please.
Legend.
Can you tell us a relatively affordable watch that you think would be cool to show, possibly from your collection, or something that you just like knocking around London in?
I would say one of these, but these are just completely overvalued. I've just literally brought this in to annoy you with.
No. I spotted
you expected
it.
something heavy, but it's, I've come in with basically, a toy. You can have a look at that whilst I'm waffling on.
So we'll be able to show the audience. We'll get some footage of this. So tell us about it.
That is a Louis Vuitton Monterey 2. I bought that off a good friend, Justin Hast. He's a big watch guy.
I know Justin.
And he sold it. He bought it for literally sort of nothing, maybe a year or two ago now. And I've been looking for one of these, and I couldn't find one anywhere. And he sold it, and I just snaffled it straight away. Yeah. And then, consequently, there was a load of hype off the back of that, and suddenly the world and its dog are after one of these.
Yeah. So it's dual time zone, and
I don't know how it works. I don't even know it's telling the right time.
It's dual time zone, I can tell you now, and it's also got the date going around the side. But that's the same as on the Celestial. So I mean, you're getting a lot of
I mean, it is
cool
quartz. It's got an alarm function as well.
Yeah.
Do I use the alarm? No. I mean, I just think it's cool. It's a really cool designer back in the day, Guy Orlenti. Was a famous, I think, architect and designer.
Yeah.
IWC made it. It was Louis Vuitton, one of Louis Vuitton's first watches. IWC made it. It was their first foray into coloured ceramics. Yeah. It's the green variant, which means it's the rarer one. Yeah. There's literally none of them really around, particularly in green. And even
fantastic.
Jean Arnaud, the Louis Vuitton bloke, was in touch trying to buy one of these. I've got the box. I found box and paperwork for it in Japan as well.
Lovely.
So super boring, but that's not my recommendation. There are a lot of money now for. It's effectively, you've got to be really, really sort of boring and into collecting to want to spend that kind of money, because they're going for upwards of sort of 15 grand now, 20 grand, and it is just quartz.
Okay.
But it's rarity, and obviously with Louis Vuitton now coming back, with Fabrique de Tom, and also with Acrivia, that latest Acrivia collab they've done, the dial on the back side of it was inspired by this. Yes. So they brought that design back into contemporary. But my actual recommendation, I would say, and Tudor, great. Buy one used, fantastic. I really like the ceramic, but I think a piece particularly for people that like watches and like cars, the Omega Speedmaster Schumacher, the yellow, blue, and red variants of those, they might be a bit too colourful for a lot of people, but I think that reduced size is a really nice size to wear around. It's a speedy, and if you can find a full set one with the F1 tyre box and the full set, it also comes with a fabric strap as well. I think they're unbelievable, and you can pick them up for sub $3 grand. Yeah, it's not a true speedy because it's reduced and it's auto and whatever. But if you don't care about that stuff, I think that's a great watch. Yeah, I think that's a great watch. It's got plexi crystal, I believe. Yeah. I've got one in my collection, a yellow one. I absolutely adore it. And it was $3 odd grand.
Interesting that you also mentioned Tudor as well. So obviously managing the Instagram, we've got like 500,000 followers. I get at least 20 messages a day that just say, "Oh, Oscar, I'm just starting out. What shall I look for?" You know, in the kind of $3 grand range. And I always recommend Tudor GMT. Yeah, just because I think like you can smash that thing off of anything. I mean, I had one. I think they're amazing quality for what you get, and the movements are ridiculous. You know? Like,
I've got a whole load of them.
They're bulletproof, aren't they?
Not going to be any more, but I've got a whole load.
Have you got the FXD, the blue one?
I do. I've got an MN20 21. Got the
I
first
like
one
that
came
one
out.
a lot. That's a nice watch.
It's a
man.
really easy to wear watch, and
really
also
nice watch.
the rubber NATO that comes on it, like the one piece.
I've seen it.
It's really, really nice.
I love that.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool watch. Yeah, Tudor are doing great things at the moment.
And you can buy them used now for under list, where you never really could, and now
you can.
Some serious bargains.
Yeah.
The early ETA one, you know, the first sort of black base that came back out, the black ETAs, that's the rarest one, I think. They're quite big.
Lovely watch. Right, sorry to do this to you because it's a bit of a stinker for our final question. But if you had to not drive a car for a year or not wear a watch for a year, which would you choose?
That is a really, really easy one because my partner doesn't drive. I've got dogs and I'm around the place the whole time. So if I couldn't drive for a year, I'd be screwed. So in that instance, sod the watches.
Yeah. Do you know what? I had a feeling you of all people were going to say.
If you gave me a driver though, like a really reliable one and one that would be there and there would be no issue getting around anywhere, I could. I need my cars for my living and filming. So again,
credit to our cameraman there because when he heard that question earlier, he said, "Oh, what if he had a driver? Then he'd probably choose the watch." So credit to you. Okay, so now is the time in the video where we give Tom a little bit of Jardin du Mayfair red carpet treatment. So I've pulled out some special watches to show you today, and well, what takes your eye? Anything?
All of it.
Okay, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Hope you brought your card today.
There's nothing on it. Wow.
I might suggest starting with this because one of the things that I think is pretty cool about this watch is from across the room, it is a blue dial Nautilus. And then we get up close and we see that it is the 40th anniversary.
Platinum.
All platinum. Baguette diamonds, made only 700 pieces in 2016 for the anniversary of the Nautilus.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a heavy old boy.
So one of my favourite things about watches like that is, as I said, from across the room, you're a man in a blue Nautilus.
You're in a Povo, 5711 steel, you know, times are tough.
It's the stealth wealth aspect, isn't it? Because the truth is, unless anyone knows anything, why has it got 40 on it? It doesn't make, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to make sense.
It's a little diamond at 6 as well, just says it's platinum.
Yeah,
off you go. Yeah.
So Patek hide a diamond at the 6 o'clock of every platinum model, which you'll have seen if you watch our videos on the channel.
That's unbelievable. I would really like that. I think it's a little bit too heavy for daily use, but that's if you know, you're horrified.
Yeah, it's great. It's a hefty piece.
What sort of money? If I said Oscar?
360,000.
Okay, well that's maybe next week.
Listen, down from 445, you know, so it's like now is the time where people are really opening up to these things because they're dramatically well priced at this moment.
Rarer than the green dial?
Rarer than the green dial, I would say so. The thing is with the green dial is they never numbered it, okay? So no one really knows, and that's a dangerous territory because the truth is there could be thousands of them just sat in a vault somewhere. You never really know, and Patek aren't going to tell anyone. So just because there's so few of the green dial around does not mean there's so few.
It's only steel as well.
Exactly.
This is obviously you've got baguette markers as well.
I'd take that any day.
Yeah, 100% that.
And then moving on, we may as well go to this because this is really cool. So this is a vintage 3700 jumbo, and it has a blue dial. The blue dial being the hardest one to find. And if you look there, you'll see that there's a patina that's come through on the hour markers. So it's just like a collector's dream watch.
That's lovely.
Another really cool thing I like about those is the bracelet, because actually if you look around the clasp there, look how thin the bracelet goes to, but it's so classy.
So nice. That's unbelievable. One of my favourite things about these as well is the box. It's got that cork box.
Yes.
It's cash.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Even the box trades for like...
They sell for £10,000.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We can never find those. They're very hard to find.
Surely someone can make them. I mean, that's not something I should say,
in this day and age.
Just tie it up a bit, make it look vintage.
But that's the thing is, you know, something that is so nerdy of me, but it's the kind of thing that I get into, is like, even down to the smell of those boxes. I mean, they're just so cool. They're really funky.
Absolutely. I love the way the crown's slightly more inset, because the crown on the newer ones is slightly more bulky, but it's just so dainty.
Yeah.
Lovely. Love that.
And then
amazing.
Going slightly the other way, but I know you love an RM.
Oh, God, I love them.
This is my favourite one because I prefer, personally, if you're going to get an RM, I think it's got to be wacky. It has to be some mad colour or something. I don't see the point in spending loads of money on an all-black RM. I know lots of people get on with them, but I think if you're going to do it, you've got to do it in a mad colour. That's the Japan edition. It's limited to 50 pieces.
I absolutely adore a coloured ceramic RM. I just think they're just so iconic now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're so Marmite. A lot of like, you know, nerdy watch people,
Yeah.
and like boring watch people like me, a lot of the time saying, RM, but actually,
Yeah.
I just adore them. I think they're fantastic, and I love the marketing job they've done. I find the whole company absolutely fascinating, and yeah, that's great. I would probably upset people. Money no object, and you know, I couldn't sell any of them. I'd probably wear that home. Well, I wouldn't wear it home. I'd hide it. But
another cool thing I've seen our clients do with these is put them on the red strap. So you get the red strap with the winder there, and it kind of all ties in together.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Then going back to vintage, I've got a Mark IV Sea Dweller there.
Wow.
So that's the original double red Mark IV.
That's sharp.
Yeah, it's
That's
really, really nice.
Absolutely fresh.
So I'm so happy that you said that, because it's one of the things we pride ourselves on here at Jardin du Mayfair is we show, you know, we won't buy these kind of things unless we think that they are like
It's
perfect.
like new.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah.
How?
Yeah, because people,
wild.
smart people put these away, you know what I mean? And then they get the crazy figures for them. But, you know, we think that was worth every penny that watch. It's a beautiful watch.
That's unbelievable. Again, disgusting question. Everyone loves money. What if I said, Oscar?
Yeah.
Do me a deal. I'm not having that. What's this?
65 grand.
65 grand.
That's the friends and family price.
Right. Perfect. That's probably not too bad, to be fair. And that's something foreseeably, if you had that, I'd chuck it on NATO, preserve the bracelet, 10 years' time, you could foreseeably see a one in front of that.
Yeah. And now we're going up to the sort of Lambo territory, which is none other than the watch that put me on the map. So my first ever episode was unboxing 2 Rainbow Daytonas, and this was one of them. So this put me on the map on YouTube, so thank you guys. This will always be my lucky watch, and this is the Rainbow Daytona in yellow gold.
I love these, and I shouldn't admit to it. I don't have it anymore, but I have had a Rainbow Daytona. I got one after set.
Ooh.
And actually, horrible story. I was wearing it in an airport, and someone very, very, very senior at Rolex made a beeline for me and gave me his card. I mean, he's C-suite level. Yeah. He was like, you know, I had to come and say hello, and I recognised him because he was wearing a very rare Daytona.
Right.
And he came over to me and he said, you know, who are you? Have my card, because he saw me wearing the rainbow.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at it, and then I had to tell him. I had to say, mate, it's after set. It's, you know, it's a Daytona.
Yeah, you got to tell him, man.
But it's been after set. You know, there's loads of people that are chucking these stones on battered old. It's a rose gold one without the.
But of all people, the Rolex guy, you have to tell him.
I know, but he couldn't tell.
Yeah,
he hadn't, because it's really, really well done. But I was like, look, mate, it's after set.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you need anything, I was like, can I have a legit one, please? And he's like, no. So that's my rainbow story. Very, very embarrassing. But these are the absolute grail piece for me. I love these. I prefer the rose. Yeah. But yeah, amazing.
I'm so glad you like it. We
I
have the
love
rose.
those.
We have the rose if anyone's
And Rolex
looking.
do stone setting so well. The way they do it is unbelievable. The stones they source,
it's the best
incredible.
Of the best. This one is a cheeky 6263, and it is gone tropical. So the sub-dials used to be black, and due to an error on the dials, they actually turned brown.
Wow. It's kind of that like latte colour now, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's one of the slightly newer versions. So it's still got the screw down crown, so you don't have those kind of like pop-it pushes that you have on 6262 and stuff. But it's really, really nice piece.
Really, really love these, and I love the size of them as well.
Yeah.
Again, that's like new. I don't know how you guys are doing it.
Hey, come on.
Wild.
You know, we put a lot of time and effort into our vintage stuff. We wouldn't buy it if we don't think that it's going to be the one where a collector comes in and says, wow. Like, you know, if they're not going to say that, we don't want to buy it.
And I always say with vintage stuff as well, you've got to buy the seller. You've got to buy people that are knowingly buying the right stuff. You've got to be buying off the people that are turning down 9 in 10 watches that come their way. You've got to be buying from people that really know, rather than just saying, looks all right, sod it, I'm going to sell it.
So honesty, I feel is always the best policy. You know, with the channel and stuff, and it's the vintage clients that always come in that actually I always hold my hands up, and it's like they have way more knowledge than most. Do you know what I mean? So they'll come in, they'll get a loop out, they'll start asking me questions about like the inner rings on the sub-dials, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, man, we'll have to check with.
You can't black those guys. Did you see that guy on Instagram, Periscope? It's guys like him. You cannot.
No, don't. Just leave them be. They're up there somewhere.
They know.
So that's why I always just interestingly say, look, just come and have a look at it. I'm pretty sure that we've done. We do have 2 watchmakers who check them all over, of course, you know, and check that they're the best before we buy them. But the vintage guys, don't mess with them, man. Japan edition is killer.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. Now I know you love APs. So
I do.
for the Jardin du Mayfair cherry on the cake for you, Tom, is that I know you went to AP House. So I'm proving that I stalk you a lot on Instagram.
I loved the guys and girls there.
I don't know
The girls.
if they have showed you any of these. So
not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Working my way up very slowly.
I don't know if they have any of these there, but this
Yowzers.
is the blue ceramic perpetual. We're incredibly proud of that watch.
Wow.
When I first got that watch, I'd only actually seen one other person with it, and it was the Crown Prince of Johor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, what a watch! Just incredible.
I adore coloured ceramic APs. I've always wanted the white one.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore the white one of these. And when this came out, I was like, absolutely brilliant. What do you make of the Travis Scott?
Okay, so Travis Scott, very controversial, okay? I think good on the collab, but I think the clothes and stuff, possible mistake, okay? And obviously that CEO was exiting, so he did the whole mic drop thing and he was just saying goodbye. And I wonder if just all that like, I don't mind some of it and I don't mind the designs, but like, to think that AP would be doing clothing and stuff, difficult. You know, the truth is that the market will tell us, okay? But that watch already has dropped quite a bit.
Has it?
Since when we first saw them come to market. So, for example, when they first came, I think they were 3 times retail, but very quickly came down, and now they're about double.
I would absolutely love one. I don't like the strap, all that guff on the strap.
Yeah.
Travis Scott, blah, blah.
So exactly.
I think I'd replace the clasp with just like a black one or something.
Yeah.
I don't like that guff. I like the denim, but I don't like the keepers on the strap and the buckle as well. It's all a bit obnoxious and a bit over the top, but I love the watch.
Oh, listen, it's a cool watch.
I love Travis Scott.
The graffiti style design on it, all that kind of stuff drives me mad. I would happily get one, but we have the black ceramic skeleton perpetual calendar, and when you put those side by side, that's the thing. Is like, yes, you know, it's cool, but is it worth that much more than the black one? I don't know. You know, yeah, that's the thing. It's a very tricky watch, that watch, because you don't know, you know, like Hublot, when they started making loads and loads of limited editions, that started to be the issue for them. RM, when they dedicate it to people, like they made a Mancini, right? So, you know, now look at those watches. You can get them really, really low price now, you know, because eventually it fades, you know.
Eventually nobody cares.
Exactly.
I mean, I would buy the Travis because I like the brown ceramic and I love the design of the watch.
Cactus Jack stuff's so cool, man. The little face in the thing, the moon phase, like, of course it's amazing.
I buy all his bloody Nikes.
Of course.
But you know, the ones I actually like the design.
The guys at Official Watches here all obsessed with all the Nikes.
I buy all of it. I'm a complete mug. But no, I do adore that watch. So if you ever get one in here, give me a shout because I want to come see it.
Fine. Done.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. But in regards to the clothing, I mean, the collab, he's done Cactus Jack McDonald's collab.
Yeah.
Fair play to the guy. He's a churner.
Hey, listen.
He's an absolute churner.
You take the check, right?
He's
you
a
know
digital Del boy.
Yeah,
he loves it. Yeah. Love that bloke. Anyway, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Grail piece for me, this. So damage on the blue AP then?
445,000.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Not for me today.
So next up, I have the open-worked Flying Tourbillon. This is nicknamed the JZ. And again, when we got this watch, the only person I'd seen wearing it was the man himself, Hove.
He is a serious dude.
Yeah, he is.
I love the way he scruffs round. Like some of the times when he's just literally dressed like someone, not that's rolled out of the bin, but just he's very, very scruffy.
Yes, he is.
And he's got the most insane niche watch on.
Yeah.
He's an absolute hero.
He's actually really just got into vintage now as well. So loads of mad vintage pieces he's buying. I don't know if he has a team that helps him like with the sort of auction, like procuring these things, because they are auction pieces. I mean, he's...
Some of those rare Pateks, I think he's got one with integrated bracelets, like a one of one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
mad.
wild. And loads of like coloured sapphire RMs, one of ones.
I'd
love to visit his vault.
Oh, God.
And then escape with a duffel bag.
He has a green sapphire RM that I think, I mean, I don't know what they'd value it at, probably $6 million, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that's, where is the intrinsic value in that? I mean, how do you get to 6 million?
Yeah.
I mean, coloured sapphire, is that something that only RM can do?
Yeah. According to RM, they'll say they do it the best.
Yeah. Anyway, this is unbelievable. What's I'm going to keep annoying you with prices.
Please, 370,000.
370. Okay, so 80 odd less than the colour strap.
It's a steel
50th
watch,
rotor,
though.
yeah. And you've got skeletonization.
Yeah, I think the thing is they wanted to do something really, really cool
lovely.
because they have made one tourbillon before that's open worked, but it's not flying, so they needed to tick another box. Otherwise, why make it at all? And they did a great job with that watch.
Adore that. That's
Lovely,
really, really nice.
Lovely. And then last is my personal favourite of the sort of wacky APs that I'm showing you today. I mean, I'm wearing one that I'm obsessed with, but this is actually my personal favourite in terms of wackiness, because I know you like a bit of colour. I love a bit of colour.
Wow.
So that is the AP Sanskrit dial, and it is green with orange, which shouldn't technically work on the bracelet and the face of the case, but my God.
That's a serious piece. What, 30 of these?
30 of those, yeah. And I could see a lot of cars that would go with that. Like, you know, like green 812, 812 Superfast, something like that. Imagine that with that watch. With
People are doing their orange seats these days.
Yeah, see, that's my point. Yeah.
Buy them as a combo.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
It's just so funky. Price on that is 180,000. I've just dropped it.
180?
Yeah. We're giving it away.
That's not, obviously, it's just...
Hey, it's 30-piece limited. That's the thing. This is the crazy thing.
It's not the end of the world, that.
There are clever buys. There are clever buys, you know, because you've got to remember, when we say something's 30-piece limited, some get lost, some get stolen, papers go missing. Before you know it, 10 years' time, you could be one of 15. You know, it's...
And a lot of it happens with cars, pieces, and particularly rare cars. They go into collections where people just don't need to sell, and they don't sell. They hoard on another level. They go into multi-billion-pound collections, and they just don't ever see the light of day. So they do end up just not ever coming to market.
Yes.
So, yeah, 30, 100%. A lot of them go to friends and family as well. You know, at least a few of them will end up not being able to be sold anyway in that respect. So, and actually, a lot of the time, I don't ever believe. Sometimes when they say, "Oh, it's a 30-piece limited edition," I don't, unless they've sold them out instantly. They'll just sell them out same day. And if they haven't all sold, they just won't make all 30.
And also, as well, how many just go to like their friends and family of their businesses? You know what I mean? 100%. Because at the end of the day, you're telling me you're not going to give your brother-in-law one if he's desperate, or you know what I mean? Of course, they look after each other.
That's wild. That's a good buy.
Hey, I'm glad you like it.
Roll up, roll up.
Okay, and then last but certainly not least is the watch I was wearing, which for my big meetings, I always wear this watch. It's Jardin du Mayfair Special, and it's the open worked rainbow skeleton frosted.
Wow, I feel honoured that this is a big meeting for you. Thank you.
It is a big meeting for me, of course it is.
This is one of my favourite pieces ever. But the 37mm, and I know the 37mm, it lacks some of the detail that you get in the bigger dial, because obviously the compact, it loses some of it, and I get that, and I don't care. I've got very bony little wrists, and I've been pestering AP House, like you've no idea, to get me a 31mm of these. A 31? A 37? Yeah, one of these.
And they make it in yellow and in white gold. So would you go yellow or would you go white?
White gold. It's exactly this configuration with 37. And I've been pestering them. They said, do you want anything else? What from the 37mm Torb?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want this specific piece. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I have to say, so 37mm and the 41, I would still go white gold, because I think frosted white gold, they just nailed it. It's amazing. So they did it with Carolina Bucci, who is a very famous jewellery designer, and she helped them come up with the finish, which is rhodium plated on top. That's how it stays so shiny, because they were worried that it would mute over time. But with the rhodium, it won't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I just adore it. I just think it's fantastic. I mean, if AP House, you want to give me a 41mm, I'm not going to
say no.
Kick it out of bed. But the 37.
Yeah. So this watch is a watch for me where I've never had a bad day wearing this watch. It makes me so happy. How can you?
This is unreal. Yeah. It's just, I think it's got to be my favourite.
I'm so happy that you like it.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable.
So, Tom, thanks so much for coming down. And hopefully we will see you again soon. I would love to do another episode with you.
I've been thinking about an episode whereby I bring at least 5 watches down.
Yeah.
You guys, bear in mind you've seen everything under the sun. I want to find 5 things in my collection that you haven't held before and you haven't had through the door here. I want to bring you something that you haven't seen before. Okay. Some really niche stuff. it's a bit of a pain. I did actually want to bring some stuff down today, but all my stuff's off-site in a vault. You know how it is these days.
It has to be.
My collection's at the point where, I mean, I wouldn't want it in my house anyway, but I can't get insurance to be in my house. So they all have to be in a bonded, basically a bonded storage unit. It's a complete nightmare. So I'm going to have to go over there, get an armed cavalcade over here, and then I'll bring them in. So
we would be honoured, and we absolutely understand that. None of our watches are kept on site at the same time either, so we totally get that. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So, you know, this has been the most incredible interview. I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. It's been a year now, and this channel is absolutely flying. So thank you so much. Please hit subscribe. And the last thing I would like to do is dedicate this interview to a mutual friend of ours. So Mr. AP, if you're out there, I dedicate this interview to you, my friend. Thank you.
he wouldn't have got this far, I think. He can't stand the sound of my voice. He's let me too long.
Oh man, he has to hear me every week.